Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my channel. I am Shawnee Sanders. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Listen, today I want to talk about something that's just launched on yesterday, which is Greenroom by Spotify. So Spotify has come out with a direct competitor for Clubhouse, which is called, like I said, Greenroom. Now, I'm going to run down the differences between the two platforms, but I just want to have an open conversation about it because, as you guys know, I've been talking about Clubhouse a lot on my channel, and what I realize is that Clubhouse has some improvements to make, but Clubhouse is the original in the audio based space in terms of platforms. And so there's going to be a lot of different audio tech platforms that are coming out that are going to disrupt the industry that right now is owned by Clubhouse. So let's talk about that, right? So I was in a room last night on Clubhouse and they brought it up about Green Room versus Clubhouse, which is better. And so Clubhouse still, I think, is the leading platform for audio-based conversations, audio influencers, and just people who really want to go on there and listen in on great conversation and be a part of great conversations that you would not be able to be a part of any other way. So it's a really great audio app. I think a lot of the creators on the platform are saying, hey, we really wish the Clubhouse founders would listen to us more because we can let them know what's working, what's not working, and maybe some features that they can actually upgrade or implement to really help us connect further with our audience or just help us better conversations, right? So that was one of the things that I heard overall in that room last night. Also, what I heard is that no matter, although these other new audio-based platforms are coming out, Clubhouse will still be the king over all these audio-based platforms. And what they want Clubhouse to do is saying, hey, we want you to look at the best features that these apps have and implement those features on your platform, which would make you even better and put you above them, because since they're already coming out and they're like jacking your idea and repeating what you do, then take some of the things that they do and do that for yourself. So that's the kind of thing that's the overall conversation when it came to the Clubhouse piece, because Clubhouse still does have a lot of great quality features in terms of you being able to start your own clubs, being able to have multiple moderators, being able to ping people in your room, being able to just schedule your room so they be on the calendar and curate your own experience on Clubhouse, because whoever you follow, that begins to build your hallway. So you want to be very careful about the people you follow on Clubhouse, because you begin to curate your hallways, your conversations, just based off the people you follow. So make sure you follow some great people so you can get some great conversations and be involved in some great conversation. So let's talk about Greenroom. So Greenroom, overall, the UI itself is similar to Clubhouse. The only difference is that it's in the Spotify color, so it's green and black. And some people didn't like that; they thought it was horrible. I myself personally didn't think the UI was that bad. I think it could be some improvement. I'm a big fan of white spaces, but they want to use their stand on brand. That's what I can tell you when it comes to the coloring of it. They're just stand on brand, which is nothing wrong with that. Here are some of the things that are not the greatest about Greenroom. Right now, it's super glitchy. So, and that could be because it's new, it's the first iteration of it. They're really just trying to, well, let me back up. It's not the first iteration of it. Actually, Greenroom used to be called Locker Room, and it was basically a sports-based audio app. And so everyone was on there to talk about NBA, NFL, golf, any type of sports. That's what that platform was for. But then Spotify began to see the benefit of moving over into more authentic conversations, more diversified conversations. And so they decided to rename the app Green Room versus Locker Room, and they launched it yesterday. So let me just say that. So this is the first iteration in terms of being able to open up the app to different diverse conversations. And that's what I mean by the first iteration of it. So it's glitchy, and it could be because a lot of people are migrating over to the platform too, and it just, I don't know, the servers and the whatever it is, it's not actually functioning that great. So it's super glitchy. Even when I went in this morning to try to be in some conversations, it was glitchy. So I couldn't really stay in the room. I kept getting kicked out, but those are things I think they will continue to work on. Another thing that is different from Clubhouse is that on Clubhouse, you're able to have multiple moderators, which I think is so beneficial, because when you first launch a room, you're nervous and you don't want to be up there on stage by yourself. So being able to have other people on stage with you as moderators to help carry the conversation really does help. But on Spotify's Green Room, you only have one moderator. It's only one person that moderates. I think you have other people that are just on stage with you, but they don't have that little icon or whatever it is to show that they are the moderator. There's only one moderator of the room, so that one person has control over the room. And a lot of people on Clubhouse felt like that was a miss because when you have large rooms, you can't always see who's raising their hand, who's talking, who's next, who this next. Sometimes you need people on the stage with you that are moderators that can help you manage the room, and it really does give the rooms a better flow and work better. So that was one of the things too that they felt like was a downfall. Another thing with Green Room is that you don't really know who's talking. I think today I finally saw whoever was talking and leading the conversation. I saw their picture was highlighted in green, meaning like they had the green circle around their picture that shows that that this person is speaking. But when you look for other people who are speaking who are not the moderator, it's kind of hard to see who that person is because they don't get that same green light around them. So you got to just kind of figure out who's speaking, which is why Clubhouse always does the thing like, hey, I'm Sean, this is Shawnee speaking. Just let people know who's speaking, because when you have a lot of people on stage, you don't know who's speaking. And as a moderator, you can't search through all the names. You got a PTR all the time, and you can't search through to see who's talking. So it always helps when you actually lead the conversation by saying your name first. And then it makes it all inclusive in terms of accessibility. So that's really great. But the downfall for Green Room is that they don't have the accessibility feature on there. So people who are visually impaired cannot use this app because they don't have that piece set up. So that is a downfall to this app, because it shows that you're not inclusive, and we need to make sure that whatever technology we built, and everything is always all inclusive, and everyone can access it and utilize this app no matter what their disabilities may be. Another thing that I think that is not a great feature for this app is on Clubhouse we can freely create clubs and schedule rooms. From what I learned last night, and I have not tried this myself, but from what I learned last night, on Green Room you cannot freely schedule a room. You have to put in a request to schedule rooms, and I think your room has to become popular before you can actually schedule it. So that's limiting people on hosting conversations, because it makes it seem like only the popular rooms will be scheduled and you'll be able to know when they're coming on. But I think you can start a room at any point. You can start a room at any time, but I don't think you can actually have it show up on a scheduler unless it's a popular room and it has a good amount of people in it. So that's kind of like a downfall too, I believe, with Green Room, because with Clubhouse you can easily schedule a room, and you don't have to have a crowd of people. I've been through my hallway and sometimes I only saw 9 people in the room. So it just kind of shows you that at least with Clubhouse they allow everyone to have a room and everyone to have a conversation, no matter how many people shows up. And it doesn't really matter how many people show up in your room. It's about, are you connecting with those 9 or 5 people in your room, and are you having a good conversation? Sometimes that's all it is about. So those are some of the differences when it comes to Clubhouse and Green Room. But I guess let's talk about the other apps that are coming out with their own audio-based platforms. So Facebook has Rooms. They launched theirs, I think a few weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, but you can always look that up, search Google. But Facebook is launching Rooms, same thing, similar to Clubhouse. Their UI is black as well, like Spotify. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. I think that is still in beta testing. It hasn't come out 100%. But if you go to like your group page, if you have a group page on Facebook, you can see that there is a feature for Rooms, and it's just in beta testing. And you can only use their Rooms feature on your phone only. So you can't do it on a computer. You can only use it on phone. And now they say that Twitter's coming out with Twitter Spaces, and I'm not really sure what that is just yet. I have not did my research on Twitter Spaces. I just heard it come up in conversation last night when I was in the room. Someone talked about it, and it's just one of those things where you're like, am I going to be on all things? Am I going to do everything? Am I going to try to get into all these different spaces? Or am I just going to focus on one thing? And to me, I think it's like, hey, you got to pick and choose which app you want to be on, where you want to be, and where's the conversation is going to be authentically steered in the right direction, and where you can do you have the capacity to do multiple platforms, or do you want to just stick to one? For me, I think I'm just going to stick to one platform. I don't know. Like I said, I opened my account with Green Room simply because I just want to see what it looks like. And I can see the value in Facebook groups when it comes to rooms, because you can really connect with your audience in the group itself, because they're already engaged, especially if you got like a group of like 5,000 people or just a good amount of people. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. But when it comes to the other apps, I don't know yet. I really feel like I'm going to stick with Clubhouse. I'm going to continue to grow, and I'm just going to watch and see what happens with Green Room. What I can tell you that came out of that conversation last night is that Green Room is really looking like it's going to favor podcasters. So that's a plus for me. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, that's a plus. I'm a podcaster. I have the virtual speaking podcast available on all platforms. And so I launched that every Tuesday at 5 p.m. I give a new episode every Tuesday. And so I'm really interested to see how they're going to be able to leverage podcasters and being able to help us really grow our fan base. Because I believe that's one of the things that a lot of podcasters struggle with is how do you grow your fan base on social media? Like, how do you do it? How do you grow your audience? How do you get more people to listen? How do you get more downloads? So I think that's going to be a really good thing because you're able to have these conversations and you're able to have them, and then they're recorded. Now that's one of the great things about Green Room is that you'll be able to, as a host or as a moderator of your room, you'll be able to record your room and then be able to upload that to your podcast and have that as an episode. Or you can offer that as like an exclusive content on Patreon. That's what that's my strategy for it, is that if I'm able to host these rooms under Virtually Speaking, which I'll call my club on Green Room Virtually Speaking, then I will probably take whatever conversations I host on that platform and use this as exclusive content and put that on my Patreon account, and try to see if people will actually pay to get that type of content. So that's a strategy that you can think about in terms of, if you are a podcaster, how you can use Green Room to utilize to really help you build your audience and grow your audience as a podcaster. So that's really all I have to say about it. But I wanted to make this video because I know there's a lot of conversation around Green Room. Like I said, it just launched yesterday, and there's a lot of conversation beginning to stir around like Facebook rooms, and I even think Instagram had their own rooms also. So it's all this conversation that's happening around audio-based content, audio-based features. More people having authentic conversations, because when you think about an audio-based app, you really do make those authentic conversations, but also those authentic connections. You can truly connect with people. I've connected with people outside of Clubhouse, where we have now DM each other. Some people exchange phone numbers. Some people meet up with each other. So it's real connections that are being made and business deals that are being broke on this app. And I don't know if every other app is going to be able to repeat that. Like, I really don't know. Like, there's so much that's happening on Clubhouse. And that's why I tell people, if you're not on Clubhouse, you are missing out. You could be making so many different deals on Clubhouse, so many different opportunities. So many of your customers are on Clubhouse. So many of your audiences are on Clubhouse. So just take the leap of faith, go on Clubhouse, and really give it an opportunity. Look at all these other platforms too, and see which one works best for your brand or your business. For me, I'm gonna stay team Clubhouse for now. But like I said, if Green Room is going to be a place for podcasters, then I'm definitely going to be there with a virtual speaking podcast and really try to grow my audience and my brand with my podcast. So that's all I want to tell you guys. Listen, I'm Shawnee Sanders. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and listening to me as I ran on about Green Room and Clubhouse and Twitter Spaces and Facebook rooms and Instagram rooms, all this other stuff that's happening. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and also hit the notification button so you know when I upload new videos every week. Also subscribe to the channel if you want to continue to get content from me, because I come on, I be myself, authentically myself. I try to have these conversations and give you guys news as I get it, and teach you guys things as I learn these different things. But this is my channel, this is my life, this is my journey. I'm just sharing my everything that I have with you guys, and I hope you guys can share it with me in return. Alrighty guys, that's it. I gotta go. I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.